Getting to Yankee Stadium could soon be safer and easier. I just got off the BX6 crosstown bus. TSA wait times at LaGuardia are finally starting to come down after a chaotic week involving a deadly plane crash that killed both pilots on board and a partial government shutdown that's left TSA agents unpaid since mid-February. Now, I spoke to a few agents earlier today that said some of them have started to receive back pay thanks to President Trump's recent executive order. Agents also said that although the wait times are coming down, they do advise travelers to still arrive a little bit early to prevent any delays. Potholes like these could soon be disappearing. Crews are hitting the streets again for what Mayor Mamdani is calling the third consecutive pothole blitz. The Department of Transportation successfully filled 8,000 potholes in a single day last weekend. Since January 1st of this year, the DOT reportedly filled a total of 80,000 across the city. Earlier this week, the Department of Transportation announced it will be expanding sidewalks and adding new bike lanes in Soho, the East Village, and Union Square this spring. The goal is to improve safety ahead of the World Cup this summer. Mayor Mamdani has yet to comment on the death of the 83-year-old. The NYPD is calling the attack random and unprovoked. Hernandez has pled not guilty to murder. On the Upper East Side, I'm Grace Conley. Dunkin' Donuts and Taco Bell are not the only ones making payouts. Clothing brand store Theory settled a similar claim for over $200,000. Now, city officials are saying those employees do not need to file a claim themselves. Rather, they will receive either a check or direct deposit automatically in April. According to One Fair Wage, over 3,000 New York City restaurants have agreed to participate in the salary increase, a number they say will likely continue to grow. This year, Luna Park is celebrating this ride, the Cyclone's 95th birthday, and this summer they plan on adding 3 more main attractions to the park. Are you guys ready? Woo! Those words echoed through Times Square today as thousands of New Yorkers marched in the latest No Kings protest. For Beatrice Moretz, the message is personal.
In 1 year, the word immigrant has become a dirty word, and I don't recognize the country that I, love.
Moretz and her parents immigrated to the U.S. in 1968 from Germany. She had a month to learn English before starting the 2nd grade. Her mother, a Holocaust survivor, came here seeking more opportunity.
Immigration is important because it's what built this country, but the SAVE Act, the right to vote, is even bigger than that. And, they're trying to suppress the vote.
While immigration was a top concern for many, protesters say a range of issues brought them to the march.
This gathering of the thousands of people here, and I'm sure the millions of people across the country, are letting him know that we are not okay with what he is doing.
Today's protest marks the 3rd time New Yorkers have taken to the streets for the No Kings rally since the start of President Trump's 2nd term.
This is amazing. It was amazing last time. It doesn't matter how many people show up, but New York shows up.
This is what New Yorkers look like.
President Trump and other top leaders of the Republican Party have repeatedly dismissed the No Kings rallies.
We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally. They hate our principles. They hate the ideas that we come in to work every day to fight for, to preserve, in the greatest nation in the history of the world.
But demonstrators and organizers alike say their goal is to defend democracy and have their voices heard.
They can't take away our election. They can't take away our rights. They can't. We see it and we're going to act against it, and we're going to vote in November.
Over 3,000 No Kings marches took place across all 50 states today. Organizers are hoping for a larger turnout than they saw at the previous protests in October. Those drew in over 7 million people. From Midtown Manhattan, I'm Grace Conley.
The midterm elections are coming up.
And voting in this election is crucially important.
One way to get young voters to the polls is by getting on their screens.
Liberals in Washington are doing absolutely nothing.
You know what Republicans want to do?
TikTok has made Gen Z unified unlike any other generation, and that's really allowed us to build this narrative that our voices matter.
This generation of Americans are participating at about twice the level as every other generation before them. Gen Z will almost certainly be a key factor in deciding the fate of the midterm election.
Gen Z's life so far on this planet has been defined by a pandemic.
1 in 5 teens considered suicide early in the pandemic.
By economic turmoil.
It was a crazy day.
Abortion restrictions and climate change and active shooter drills. So we have a lot of unique perspectives.
This is going to positively impact so many people's lives.
Victoria Hammett is a 24-year-old content creator and the deputy executive director of Gen Z for Change, a progressive organization that uses social media to promote political engagement among the younger generation.
The jokes and the rhetoric really resonates with Generation Z and engages young people in politics, even if they weren't previously engaged, because it's interesting to watch.
The organization amplifies its message through a coalition of over 500 creators. Collectively, they receive over 1.5 billion views per month. The impact they have on politics is no joke. When one of the organization's directors was insulted by a Florida politician, she launched a campaign that resulted in over $2 million being raised towards abortion funds.
To the people who want to ignore TikTok and ignore TikTok influencers and ignore the online activists and digital organizers, do it. That's fine. We will be getting people registered to vote and out and voting.
But Gen Z political engagement is going beyond social media this midterm election, as the first Gen Z candidates are on the ballot.
I think all too often, young people are at the table in more advisory capacities, but we deserve to be at the table making decisions too.
You know what you can say to people who say I'm young? You can tell them that if we fail to inspire and change the minds of young people in America, we will lose elections and we will lose our country.
I think if anything, there's an argument that a lot of people who are currently in office are too old to be speaking on politics and making decisions that will impact so many people.
I don't know whether we'll see a red wave on November 8th or a blue wave, but what I do know is we'll see a Gen Z wave on November 8th.
American parents are on edge at a time of school shootings and lockdowns.
Please listen. Please listen.
In San Antonio, Texas, parents swarmed Jefferson High School after getting notified of a suspected gun threat. It turned out to be false, but for those who were there, it felt real.
At 1 o'clock, I got the text, "Mom, I'm scared."
We first heard the sirens wailing from a distance, and that's when my heart dropped. I was like, this is real. This is really real.
You feel helpless as a parent.
Tensions escalated between parents and police. One broke a window with a knife, and multiple others were detained.
A lot of people are saying that we overreacted, all the parents overreacted. We acted out as parents, concerned parents.
Christina Morales was outside of Jefferson High with a large group of parents, while 2 of her children were barricading inside their classrooms.
We put 2 bookcases in front of the door so no one will really come in.
I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna say I love yous to the people that I'm very close with.
The faster I ran, it felt like I was never gonna get there.
Jefferson High School is just 80 miles from Uvalde. That's where 19 young children and 2 school teachers were murdered in May. The police have been criticized for taking over an hour to confront and kill the gunmen.
The situation that happened in Uvalde has put a fear in our hearts. It's going to be there for a long time.
Uvalde was the prime example of the flaws in the system.
My confidence in the police it's not there.
Experts link the high anxiety around potential school shootings to the collective trauma experienced around Uvalde.
Those perceptions of an incident can make us potentially more traumatized, or at least raise our anxieties. And it's not that adults should be emotionless. We're not looking for parents and caregivers to be robots after a crisis event. It's understandable if we react and are concerned and we're anxious.
Inside the school, anxiety was running high among students as their shooting drills became a reality and armed police entered their classrooms searching for threats.
That was the hallways when we got out of our classrooms, and that's how they entered our classrooms. But these were different cops. Mine was with the shield.
It's not going to be the same, especially if you experience and witness everything. We should be safe in a school. We should be feeling safe within our classroom.
There's about 125,000 schools in America. Schools are still relatively safe. I don't want them to have no anxiety. I don't want them to be fearless, but I don't want them to be on the other end of the continuum either, where there's extreme anxiety.
They should enjoy going to school. They should be safe at school. They should feel the safety, and they're not feeling it. After what they went through, they're just not feeling it.